Sports unite us. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever taken part in a sport before. Whether it be kickball in the backyard, to capture a flag on Thanksgiving, to even just regular, everyday club soccer or club sport intramural. Now take a look around. See all the hands in the air. Now what is it that makes sports so interesting to all of us? It's the competition, the thrill to succeed, to be going up against others, have bragging rights to be able to say, I did it. Everybody loves that feeling. But with that comes a competitive edge. Everybody is trying to get the upper hand on the other person, whether it be through positive things or negative things. Everybody is trying to get this competitive edge. And there's many different ways that they do it. But one key way is drug abuse. Whether it be through like steroids or just painkillers, just to be able to get through the next event. Today, Braden Lazar and myself will be presenting to you Detecting Drug Abuse in Sport. Now, before we get into it, let's see how big of an issue this really is. And it's going to be really eye-opening. Now, as you can see on the chart to the left, not only like the major sports that you might think of like football or baseball or basketball, every sport experiences doping. Track, gymnastics, volleyball, cycling, badminton, like every sport, table tennis, dancing, shooting, bowling, like everybody's trying to gain this competitive edge to be better than their opponent, to be able to be the one holding the trophy at the end of the day. Now, the chart to the left shows on this data set a survey of many athletes saying if they've ever, it's anonymous so they won't have their names out, so nobody really know who they are, but to see how many athletes truly do dope. So it was done anonymously, and you can see that the number might be a little bit more shocking, higher than you would expect it to be. Now, Dr. Gornoda actually notes that 3% of college athletes use anabolic steroids, 82% consume alcohol during their 4 years, 28% use cannabis, and 3% use stimulants. These substances can aid an athlete and give them a competitive edge that is unfair compared to other competitors and can disqualify them and actually lead to long-term consequences. Now, these are some notable athletes who have actually been caught doping and have been suffered consequences for it. The list includes Lamar Odom, famous basketball player, John Daly, Darryl Strawberry, famous baseball player, Lance Armstrong, one of the most amazing influential cyclists that were caught doping and ended his career, Lawrence Taylor, famous football player, Ben Johnson, Josh Hamilton, Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers arguably of all time, and Brett Favre, a Hall of Fame quarterback. So this list goes to show you it's not only college students or high school students, it's even pro athletes trying to gain this competitive edge over others. Now, how is it detected? Researchers have broken it down to two different drugs, restorative drugs versus addictive drugs. There are 5 banned substances the NCAA tests for that to see if an athlete is eligible or not to be able to play in their sporting activity. Now, the list to the chart diagram to the left actually shows you some of the commonly known steroids that athletes might use, and some include cholesterol, testosterone, and this can go on forever, but those are just some of the most known steroids that athletes or people consume to try and get this competitive edge over others. Now, when testing, scientists look for these carbon isotopes, specifically carbon-12 and carbon-13, and the formula below actually shows mathematically how they're able to figure out if an athlete is doping through the carbon isotope radio mass spectrometry, which is very interesting how that one equation can determine so much for an athlete and their eligibility. Now, another thing that you can test for more specifically is growth hormone detection. A little bit of background. Growth hormone affects the whole body, as you can see to the image to the left. It's not just the brain or the heart or the liver. Your whole body is affected when you use the growth hormone, which is why it is banned, because it really gives an athlete a competitive advantage over others. One method that they use to test to see if you have misused growth hormone or are using growth hormone is the pituitary GH isoforms. Now, this was actually the first method and the more commonly used one, but another method used is the measurement of GH-sensitive markers, and both of these are used to just see if the athlete is in the acceptable range and if they're using, which will probably lead to more consequences if they're caught, which could lead to disqualification and potential banishment from sports, which nobody wants. Important to testing. So it's really important that athletes are being tested if there is any chance or if there's any thought that they're using these drugs, just because we want an equal playing field for everybody. There's so much on the line for so many of these athletes, whether it be the professionals who are fighting for a title or in high school where you're trying to get that championship for your school. Everybody wants that feeling. Everybody wants that notoriety, but we all want it done equally. We don't want the cheat or the easy way out. We want everything to be on an equal playing field so the team that really deserves it is able to get the trophy at the end of the day. Now, the consequences of getting caught. As mentioned before, athletes could become disqualified if they're caught, but let's say they get caught again, they can potentially be banned. The NCAA, if you are caught twice, it increases your chances drastically to be banned from ever playing another game for that organization. And that means that you won't even be able to do your career again. In high school, it's strict too. If you get caught using these types of substances, that could be the end of your career, and you might not be able to play in college then, or if you have dreams to pursue even further. The NFL is cracking down on marijuana cannabis consumption for athletes, and with each time you get caught, the consequences rack up, and it just keeps getting higher and higher suspensions rate. And this is something that no athlete wants to go through. So it's better just to play on an equal playing field and not use, to ensure the equal playing field for all athletes. In conclusion, be smart, have fun. Sports are here to bring us together, unite us, give us that competitive drive to make us all happy and just unite a country. As we can see right now, with all that we're going through, sports are still here to help us cope through all that we're going through, and just a way of entertainment to bring families, to bring friends together, even if it's done virtually, just to be united. So go out, play, have fun, and be smart. Thank you, and here are my resources consulted.